Wait, am I already live? Oh crap. I think I already set myself live. Okay. Well, wasn't really my intention, but uh I think people will start coming in here in a second. Maybe. Oh, yeah, people are already here. Okay. So I did not intend to go live immediately. I was gonna go live here in like 45 minutes. Um because I thought comics and coffee would be kind of cool. But I also want to run an idea by you guys. So I need to make myself I need to make myself a cup of coffee. What time is this? 11 it's 11:15. Uh why haven't I covered Flashpoint Beyond? I don't know. See, here's the thing. Now that I've answered that question, this entire chat is going to turn into like a giant Q&A, right? Like it always happens, right? Somebody in the chat asks a question, I answer the question, and then the floodgates open. And it's just like a million questions that come pouring through, which is fine. Which is fine. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with that. But I'm doing good. I am doing good. I am keeping on keeping on. Um, Absolute Batman or Absolute Superman? Definitely Absolute Batman. I mean, no shot against Jason Aaron. Absolute Superman is phenomenal, but Absolute Batman, yeah, it is. It's Absolute Batman's insane. Okay, give me a second, guys. How many of you guys are coffee drinkers? Yeah, yeah, the gates are open, 100%. Yeah, like Coffney, Kofny. Yeah, 100%. The floodgates are open. Well, I'm getting ready to make some coffee here in a second. So bear with me, guys. Actually, here, I mean, my coffee setup's kind of a mess, right? But look at that. That's my bit of a coffee setup. Look at all that. Ignore the mess. Ignore the. Oh yeah, by the way, check that out. Look at those. Look at that over there. Look at that over there. So I'm trying to figure out what I want this room to look like, right? Like it's not the best looking room there ever was. Um, but yeah, so Basela, okay. If you're a coffee fan, make yourself a cup of coffee. I'm gonna make myself some coffee. I'll still be like I'll be shouting at you guys from like across the room. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear me, but yes. Hold on 1 second. Let's actually should I turn the camera? Should I? Well, I don't know if I should turn the camera so you guys can see me. I don't know if it really matters, but yeah. Okay. What I want to know from you guys: how does the audio sound? Is the audio good? Is it solid? Does it sound good and everything? Let me know. And hopefully it sounds good. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Maybe. Fingers crossed. Hopefully you guys can. Uh, okay. Just cleaning out my coffee can thing. You guys, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Oh, all right. Can you hear me? Okay. Uh, Let me rinse this thing out real quick because this thing's kind of dirty. So you can hear me. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Probably a good thing I have shorts on. Wouldn't it have been crazy if I just totally forgotten I was in my underwear and I just get up and I'm like, I'll be right back, and you guys just see my bare ass walking over to the bathroom, walking to the sink to rinse this out? That'd be hilarious. You guys would never let me live it down. Oh, you would never let me live it down. That would be hilarious. I mean, it'd be funny for you. Wouldn't be funny for me, right? It'd be the end of my career, right? Like, it'd be all over TMZ. Like, Comics Explained shows his bare ass on live stream. Like, it'd be draws. Underwear explained. Oh, how many of you guys remember the hulking? How many of you guys remember the hulking on Geek Culture Explained way back in the day? Or were any of you guys there for that? How many people remember that? Those who were there for it, it was hilarious. Oh man. Okay. Make some coffee. Let's start running. The Rob Core is live. Yes, the Rob Core is live. Cheeks explained. Yes. Comics explains, bare ass explained. Oh, we got a $5 thing. What's my opinion on the DCU so far? Do I like the direction that James Gunn is taking with it, and is there anything I would change or add in regards to future projects? Yeah, it was legendary, right? Like the Mad Titan. Yeah, yeah. No, I remember you were there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was. Oops, damn! I moved my desk. That was legendary. Like it was absolutely bonkers. Uh, okay. Let's move this. Make ourselves some coffee. The DCU. Uh, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. I'm using a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Are you guys seeing issues with the stream? Like, is it like buffering super hard or anything like that? Or are we good? It keeps telling me to send more keyframes. I don't know what the hell that means, but yeah. No, I mean, well, number one of the things to keep in mind about James Gunn, is that we're what, like one movie and like one significant TV show into it. I mean, it's way too early to call whether or not it's worth a damn. So it's fine. Okay, cool. YouTube's just being goofy. Okay. The stream is solid. Dope. Yeah, we're like one movie and one good TV show, or one solid, significant, and important TV show into everything that James Gunn is doing. Yeah, it's way too early to call, whether or not it's good. I mean, do I? Oh wait, I have a sticker on my shirt. Oh, why didn't anybody but one dude tell me? I'm disappointed in you guys, right? Like, I expected more than just one person to tell me that I had a sticker on my shirt. And even then, he gave me a hard time when he told me. He couldn't just say, Rob, you got a sticker on your shirt. It's like, nice sticker on your shirt, Rob. Right? Like, y'all are leaving me hanging. Y'all are leaving me hanging. I get I see what you guys are doing, right? You guys just let me sit here and make a fool of myself and then just sitting there just laughing at me, right? From behind your computer monitors. um Ryan, I appreciate it, man. Ryan, I appreciate it. You're solid. Like, you're solid. It was funny. You're listening, not watching. Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, you're hypnotized by my silky voice. Okay. You thought it looked hot. Yeah, so I mean, we're way too early to make a judgment call on James Gunn's DCU, to be honest with you. I think that with Superman was fine for what it is. If I'm being honest, I probably would have preferred something that had more of the feeling of Dan Jurgens' Superman and The Adventures of Superman and Lois. I always forget the name of the title, but it's that segue title that brought pre-New 52 Superman to the New 52 universe through Convergence. And he was just he just been in the background the whole time. And then eventually we got like Superman Reborn, right? Or whatever it was, where him and New 52 Superman merged because of Mr. Mixolydic. Do you guys remember the story that I'm talking about? Well, the Dan Jurgens story just kind of had this really, really awesome feeling where it was almost like your granddad's Superman, right? Like, it was Superman who was experienced, right? It was Superman who had just been around the block more than a few times, right? And while the story did largely deal with him operating behind the scenes and solving various crises that the Justice League didn't even know were an issue to deal with, it was cool because he brought a level of experience that just didn't really exist in any of the other, other DC titles, especially in the Superman comic. I really loved that feeling. And while James Gunn's Superman basically established that we're in like a lived-in universe, right? Like, it's a universe where people have been around for a little while. Some superheroes have probably died. At the end of the day, his Superman just felt really inexperienced and unsure of himself. And I think that it's the same kind of complaint that I had about Zack Snyder's Superman, albeit it was a wholly different feel with Snyder's Superman. It was the same feeling nonetheless, right? The idea that it was just a Superman who was just kind of figuring himself out. Whereas I think that the Superman, at least that I wanted to see, was like your granddad's Superman, right? Like Joel over at Cape Joel, right? You guys know Joel Daly, right? Like, he made a really good point where he was talking about that, right? Joel's old school member of the Weekly Pool, and And he made a really good point where he was like, people want to see like your granddad Superman, right? The guy who's got it all figured out. Because that's kind of what Superman is, or at least it's supposed to be in DC Comics. It's one of the big issues people had with his New 52. But he hasn't quite got it sorted. That being said, I mean, the way that James Gunn handled him, it does give room to grow his character over time. And I have no doubt that he will. The movie was just designed to be an intro to the character. So that's why I don't really hold it against him, right? I don't really say like, oh man, this Superman movie was not what I wanted it to be. So obviously the future of James Gunn's cinematic universe is going to be trash. No. I think that's a ridiculous stance to take. But yeah, you know, I would have handled it differently, but it's not, you know, it's by no means a slight against James Gunn, you know, not at all. So, my podcasts were legendary. You used to listen to them for hours. That Mariah episode was hilarious. The one where she opens it up as with SpongeBob. Yeah. That was. I had no idea the reference. I've never watched SpongeBob in any meaningful way, so I have no idea about the SpongeBob references. Like, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, you know, these days I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot better than I was. And that actually kind of brings me to the point that I wanted to chat with you guys about. I buy my comics digitally for the most part. I get them on Kindle. I mean, I have like physical comics. Like I've got X-Men #1, Giant Size X-Men #1, X-Factor #1, X-Force #1. There's all 4 variant covers for X-Men Volume 2 #1. So I have like physical comics, but I don't really buy them consistently anymore. Just because I don't like having a house that's like plastered wall to wall with comics, except for like that wall back there. But yeah, give me 1 second, guys. Let me get my coffee sorted. Where's my spoon? Creamer. I am a coffee hound, just so you guys know. Like, I am absolutely obsessed with coffee. Like, I don't know how to function if I do not have coffee. Like, I go absolutely insane. Like, when I wake up in the morning, if I go any measure of time without coffee, I turn into a grump. Like it's bonkers. Like I become a grumpy son of a gun. Like I become a grumpy guy. Okay. Let's see. You are here. SpongeBob would solo the one above all. Are you serious? You're up, turn it. Okay. All right. Thank God. Now we've got a couple of minutes. Oh my goodness. I've only had 1 cup of coffee so far. So as you guys can probably imagine, I'm a grumpy ass guy. All right. You were finally able to join the live stream. Love my videos on the DC Absolute Universe and Marvel X-Men destroying the world. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Marvel side, Marvel's not terrible, but they've certainly had better days. So, when and what made me fall in love with comics? I used to watch X-Men the animated series with my dad, and then my dad tried to get me into DC, which didn't happen. And ultimately I just became like an X-Men fan. And then because it was the 1990s, right? So at that point, by the time I started seriously getting into X-Men comics, Scott Lobdell was quite literally carrying the entire X-Men universe on his shoulders. So between like all the events that were going on, right? So like Extinction Agenda and Operation Zero Tolerance, Age of Apocalypse, the Onslaught Saga, I just started like branching out into other characters, right? And just been reading ever since. So let's see. Used to watch the X-Men TV show too. That's dope. How many cups of coffee do I drink a day? Too many. Definitely too many. But we have our coffee, so we can officially start comics and coffee. I should schedule these, is what I should do. My laugh is amazing. Okay, so here's the thing. Wait, I missed some donations. Holy cow, 50 pounds. Jesus. Being honest, you haven't watched for a good few years. You've just been too busy for comics and movies. But I was a godsend during COVID, which was a really tough time for me, as I imagine for many others. Always grateful for that. Yeah, man. Well, number one, I really appreciate that. And two, yeah, like, I mean, look, here's the thing, man. Like, we all have therapists, right? Like, who didn't escape COVID without a therapist? Therapists were raking in money, right? I mean, they were, it was hand over fist, but their mental health was getting torched too. Um, yeah, nobody made it out of 2020 without some kind of mental health professional in some capacity. I want to say that like Brene Brown, right? She's been around for a long time, but she became like the therapist for the world, right? During COVID lockdowns and everything. But yeah, I'm glad my videos were able to help you get through, you know, a really tough time because it was rough for everybody. So let's see. Yeah. So what I want to run by you guys, right? I want to run this idea by you guys. Um, so I was at TwitchCon, you know, this last weekend with everything that was going on. And I ended up running into Hassan, which you guys probably remember from like, I don't know, was it Absolute DC or Absolutely Marvel in DC? I don't know. Benny had like a million podcasts going at one point. So, um, he and I were just kind of sitting down, right? Just shooting the poop. And we'd never actually met each other before, right? It was the first time we actually sat down and met. And so we were just kind of chit chatting and we were talking, you know, and that kind of thing. And he was talking about Benny and I was talking about Benny and how like the weekly pull got started and, you know, kind of going over like the early days of the comic book scene on YouTube, right? When there was like no one on YouTube making comic book videos. it was like myself. No, even before me and Benny, it was like Eris, Comic Book Girl 19, and like Comic Book Cast. And like that was it. There were like three. And then there was actually Hayden at Comic Uno. She was one of the originals. But yeah, you know, we were just kind of like going over everything. And I told him, I was like, for the last few years, I kind of miss doing podcasts, right? Like I do kind of miss doing the weekly poll. How many of you guys were around in the original weekly poll days? Who's my favorite X-Men? It's actually a good question. At the moment right now, it's Storm, just because of how well Storm's being written. Was I serious about doing more Sonic comics or IDW comics because they have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, and it's going to be in DCKO. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is amazing. The only reason why I even know about that comic is because of Mullet Man. Right, that's it. That's the only reason why I know about that comic. Yeah, Samantha's one of my favorite characters. Like she's amazing. Like I love that. Yeah, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is really really good. I should record that and make that video because they are going to be in KO. Yeah, okay. So some of you guys were here for like the original weekly poll days. Actually, can we do polls? Do we have the ability to do polls on here? How do you do a poll on here? Yeah, can you do polls on YouTube chat? Well, oh, engage with your audience. Start a poll. Dope. Dude, they have a whole feature where I can engage with you guys. Okay. Like I have a whole feature where I can engage with you guys. It's on now, son. It's on now. So okay, I'm gonna start. Okay. All right. You know what? We're gonna start making polls like a crazy person. We're gonna start making polls like a crazy person. Okay. Let's see. Ask a question. Were you around for the original weekly poll days? Yes or no? Okay. Yes. No. What was the weekly poll? Okay. Start poll. There we go. Okay, the poll is going. The poll is going. So we will start getting some live answers from people. Yeah, and while we're doing, dude, I love that, dude. I love engaging with you guys when it comes to stuff like that. Okay, we got some super chats. Yeah, so I am going to cover Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. The Sonic lore is wildly convoluted. I feel like it might take me a little bit to get into it. Right, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, thanks Rob for everything. Top 10 heroes. It's okay if I pass on the question. It's loaded. I am going to pass on it, but it's not because of the fact that it's a loaded question. It's because of the fact that it takes a lot of thought, and it'll kind of take me away from talking to everybody else in the chat. But yeah, I can tell you my number one favorite superhero, as cliche as it is Superman. I know it's cliche as hell, right? It's super cliche, but you know what? I don't care, right? I'm a fan of Superman. He's the OG superhero. If there had never been a Superman, there would not be anybody else. Like we wouldn't have anybody that we have now. Been watching for 9 years. Wow. I have thought about bringing back the Versus series. We did it on Patreon for a while, back when I used to have the Patreon. Yeah, we had like a whole series of Versus videos. Okay, 41% of people said yes, they were here for the weekly poll days, out of 378 votes, and 34% of people said no. 26% said what was the weekly poll. Okay, so let's wind the clock back, right? Just magical time travel. So let's wind the clock back to almost a decade and a half ago. Jesus. Sometimes it's hard to believe that it's been going on for this long, right? That like that I've been doing Comics Explained for this long. So years and years and years and years and years ago, when Benny and I first met, we decided to launch a podcast called The Weekly Poll. And we call that because, you know, like your poll list every week from comic books. And I think Benny was the one who came up with the name of The Weekly Poll. So we launched, wait, Faust is coming back? No way Faust is coming back to you. Oh my God, this is taking me down memory lane. How many of you guys remember Faust? Like those of you guys who remember the original Weekly Poll days, how many of you guys remember Faust? Okay, so wind the clock back, right? 10 plus years ago, myself and Benny launched the Weekly Poll, and originally we had Dave. I don't know how many of you guys remember Dave. It was myself, Benny, and Dave. I don't know how many of you guys remember Dave. Dave was cool, but Dave was not the guy that we needed to launch the Weekly Poll podcast. And so yeah, it's been that long. And so Dave, he only read omnibuses. He never actually read trade paperbacks and didn't read weekly. He would just go out and just buy a whole omnibus. Yeah, Faust was amazing. Do you guys remember when Faust showed up dressed in drag on the podcast? And Benny was like, that's not going to work. It was hilarious. Benny was so worried about brands. Dude, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was amazing. I can't remember what Faust's name was. I do have Faust on Facebook. Dude, Faust is shredded. Dude, that guy's swole. Man, he's so ripped. He's just been doing like bodybuilding. Dude, Faust is huge. You wouldn't recognize him. Like if Faust came on right now, you wouldn't recognize Faust. Like it's absolutely nuts. But yeah, it was hilarious when Faust showed up dressed in drag on the podcast. I thought it was hilarious. It's one of the funniest things ever. But yeah, so we launched the Weekly Poll. We have Dave. Dave wasn't the guy that we needed. So ultimately we had to cut Dave loose. So like we're on the hunt for a third guy. Then we find Sal over at Comic Pop, and like right there, right, we just became like the comic book trinity, right? Like we literally just became like we were just like the trinity and the comic book scene on YouTube. And I got to tell you guys, man, I mean, maybe it's just a little bit of like hubris. I don't know, maybe it's like a little bit of arrogance or something like that. But I feel like we were at the top of the comic book scene back then. Like when it came to like the comic book scene on social media, I don't know. In some ways, man, we kind of felt like rock stars, to be honest with you guys. Like it was nuts. It was amazing. But yeah, so we brought Sal on. And so the Weekly Poll podcast was basically myself and Benny and Sal just like sitting around talking about comic books. And then eventually we brought Joel on over at Cape Joel. Faust came on from It's Super Effective. And then we would have like guests that would come on from time to time, right? So we had like Eris at Variant Comics, I'm pretty sure. All he wanted to do was talk about Batman, right? So we were like, okay, fine. Like all we're going to do is, we literally spent 2 hours talking about New 52 Batman. But yeah, we brought Eris on. We brought James over at, oh my God, James is going to kill me for not remembering his YouTube channel. Oh my God, James. I remember his name. I can't remember his channel. He's got the Caravan of Garbage. God, what was his channel? We never had Paul at Heavy Spoilers on, and I don't think we never had Eric Voss either, right? We never brought him on. But yeah, like, dude, I do not low key dislike Batman. I love Batman. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But yeah, oh my God, what was the name of that channel, guys? You guys know what I'm talking about? Yes, Mr. Sunday Movies. Yes, we had James from Mr. Sunday Movies on. Yeah, like it was a good time. But one of the things that I was kind of thinking about is I was like, I mean, what if we probably didn't bring back like we wouldn't bring back like the Weekly Poll. Probably name it something else. But like myself and Hassan were like, I mean, what if we started doing a podcast again? Like myself, Hassan, Sal, I don't know, and then just kind of like bringing on guests, you know, and just talking about stuff. Eric Voss is cool. What are you guys talking about? But yeah, Oh, dude, I love comic tropes. Yeah, I love like Chris is cool. I love comic tropes. Do you guys see that video where he was talking to Scott Snyder, and everybody on Twitter in the comic book scene were just like, so it looks like Scott Snyder's just like harassing comic tropes, just like chasing him around, which was hilarious. All right, let's go through some of these super chats because I missed some of the super chats. Am I disappointed that the new Ultimate Universe that they never actually explained the fate of that version of Victor Von Doom? I kind of am. To be honest with you, they never actually explained what happened to Victor Von Doom in the new Ultimate Universe. Just Reed Richards gets turned into Doom. And what sucks is we're never going to find out because they're ending it, right? They're literally ending the Ultimate Universe. It's kind of funny because apparently Dan Buckley, Marvel's president or Marvel's publisher or president or whatever it is, was just like, well, I mean, it was only going to be 2 years, right? I thought it was going to end. And it's like, my guy, comic books do a thing called relaunching. So like the whole 2-year arc felt like it was a setup for the new Ultimate Universe. They're going to have the big war with the Maker. And then what came after was going to be what the Ultimate Universe was going to look like after the war with the Maker was over. Nope, it just turned out to be a giant story arc for the Maker that lasts 2 years, and the Maker only lasted for 6 months of it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand Marvel's motivation there. Okay, peace and blessings. Thanks for everything that you do for the comic book community, especially bringing my attention to Blue Marvel and Protege. I'm glad I brought your attention to Blue Marvel. I'll be honest with you guys. There's a part of me, and this, it sounds incredibly arrogant to say, so I'm going to just say like it's probably not true, just to keep my ego in check. But there's a part of me that wants to believe that the reason why so many people know and love about Blue Marvel was because I made a video on him like 9 years ago. Like I feel like that's the reason why people love him so much. But I don't know. Like I think that's just kind of like my ego running away with itself. Fortunately, I have you guys, right, to kind of make sure that I stay grounded and keep myself in check. Hey Rob, big fan. I just wanted to ask, did you stop doing the Robert Jefferson channel because you were videos? Would I ever make those videos public again soon? Really helped me a lot and things. I kind of stopped making those videos for a variety of reasons. Number one, I was struggling with imposter syndrome at the time. And so it was just kind of like, who am I to make videos giving people advice on life when I don't even have my own life together? Because there were a lot of things that I was struggling with behind the scenes that you guys just don't know about, right? And I probably I won't really go into. Maybe I will, at some point. But yeah, there were a lot of things that I was struggling with. And it's kind of an interesting thing because I think that when people watch their favorite content creators, I think that people have this idea that like they're so centered, that like they have it all together. Until like a content creator comes out and it's like, guys, like my mental health has been in the shitter for like the last however long. And then it's like, holy cow, they're human. It's one of these weird things. I had that experience when I was watching a video from a YouTuber named CNanners. He was the one that inspired me to become a content creator way back when. And in fact, he was the one that was like network and make friends. So in a lot of ways, I attribute the early success of Comics Explained to CNanners and Hutch and those guys from way back in the day who used to do Call of Duty videos. But he was making a video where he was talking about things that he was struggling with on a personal level. And it's like, dude, this guy seems so centered. You'd never know he was struggling like that. But it was, it was kind of cool. So maybe I'll bring them back, but I don't know. I'm not really sure at this point. What's my favorite comic from the DC eras, different DC eras? New 52 Rebirth, Absolute Universe, etc. Jeff Johns' Green Lantern was epic. Okay, I want an answer from you guys on this, right? Your favorite era in DC Comics. Right, I'm sure the super old school hipsters are going to be like everything after Crisis on Infinite Earths. But let me know what you think yeah, Gassy Mexican was hilarious. I can smell you. Like the whole Morgan Freeman thing. Yeah, Gassy Mexican was funny as hell. Yeah, dude, I used to watch CNN videos all the time back when I was like, coming up on YouTube or when I was wanting to get into YouTube, right? I would just sit at work and like CNNers videos got me through so many crappy times. Right, like I loved CNNers videos back in the day. He doesn't really upload much anymore, but yeah, I loved him back in the day. Yeah, for DC Rebirth, honestly, I would say either Wonder Woman Rebirth or Green Lantern's Rebirth from Sam Humphries. Green Lantern's Rebirth never got the respect it deserved because it was an amazing story. It just followed Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, right? It's where you got like the Phantom Ring and all that kind of stuff. Dude, the Green Lantern's Rebirth was an incredible run. It sucks that it got cut short. I loved it. I would say, I will say that Tom King's Batman and then I think it was Tomasi and Dan Jurgens' Superman run, that was solid, right? Between like Action Comics from Jurgens and Superman from I always confuse if it's Tomasi or Thierry, but yeah, it's those runs were great. But I would say Wonder Woman Rebirth from Greg Rucka the stuff of Legend, and Green Lantern's Rebirth from Sam Humphries. They were really, really good. Obviously, with DC or with the Absolute Universe, it's Absolute Batman, right? That's phenomenal. If I were new to comics today, would I have you just try? Okay, I don't know if I'm having a stroke. If you were new to comics today, would have you just try and find a reason, order for the modern era, or just try and jump onto something? Okay. Am I having a stroke? Right? Like, do you guys see this? Like, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Jump onto something now? Like, I don't know. Like, jump onto something now? I don't know. All right. You've been there since the beginning of the weekly poll. You remember a lot of the crazy shenanigans. Remember the looped video of Faust eating chicken wings, and then you yelled splooge whenever someone. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yelling splooge whenever somebody subscribed. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Oh, reading order. Reading orders are complicated. I mean, you can do them, but they're very, very convoluted. Like, is there a particular reading order that you're looking at getting into? Like, is there a particular one that you're looking to start with? Let's see. Probably how to get into comics or something. Okay. Sandman. Would I recommend? Yes, but Sandman. Neil Gaiman's Sandman is wonky. Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Just because of the fact that for some reason, DC's mythological side, right? What used to be their Vertigo side, essentially, it never really resonated with me the same way that Marvel's did when it came to things like Midnight Suns. And I think a lot of that, wait, is Josh live? I think a lot of that is because, I think a lot of that's because on the Marvel side, when it came to things like Doctor Strange's Secret Defenders, right, back in like the 90s, I'm sorry, Doctor Strange's Defenders back in the 90s, he would just bring in existing superheroes, right? So like Doctor Strange, Captain America, Spider-Man, and like Wolverine or whoever. They would like all go and face Dormammu. Whereas you don't really get that with DC's mythological side, right? Like you might have some crossover. More recently, they've been doing it with Eclipso, right? Mark Waid and his World's Finest recently had like the total Eclipso storyline. So you kind of get that to a degree with him. And Spectre is probably one, along with John Constantine, that crosses over the most. Swamp Thing shows up every so often, right? Like there was a really good story from Tom King's Batman run, where Swamp Thing trolls Batman. Which was hilarious. The Brave and the Mold, right? It was a hilarious storyline. But by and large, you don't necessarily see a lot of the mythological side of DC crossing over with superheroes. And I kind of prefer superheroes more to the mythological side. So I don't know. It just doesn't really hit me. It doesn't really hit me the same way. I don't know where I was going with that question. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, so, oh, Josh is off today? Okay, cool. Well, good thing I didn't like cut him to a stream, because that would have been like a really, really dick move. But yeah, so the question that I have here is, and this is kind of the bigger point that I was wanting to ask, should we bring back, like, I don't know that I'd call it the weekly poll, but like, should we bring back podcasts in the comic book scene? Because I know that there are some that are there, but like, looking around the comic book community on YouTube, it feels so fractured now. I don't mean that to say that it's toxic. I don't think the YouTube comic book scene is very toxic at all. It's just simply that there is no real, there's no cohesiveness there. At least during the days of the weekly poll, it felt very cohesive. But now it just kind of feels like everybody's scattered all over the place. And so I don't know, like myself and Sal and Hassan, Dan, if he would want to join, and just run a podcast. And then yeah, like, I mean, just have like guests on and stuff like that. I don't know, like I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing, because I really do miss, like, I don't know, I miss being an actual part of the YouTube community. You guys know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between sitting down and making videos and just like running over all this stuff in relation to like, comic books and what's happening in stories, and occasionally explaining some superheroes or something like that, and actually like feeling like I'm a part of the YouTube scene. Like, one of the things I missed, and I was really looking forward to it at New York Comic Con. I wasn't able to go because my uncle died, right? But they ended up having his funeral during that point. But I was really looking forward to going to New York Comic Con and like meeting with you guys, because it's one of the things that I miss a lot. Like, I really miss traveling to cons and just talking to you guys, because it gives me the ability to put faces to names. And even if, if it, like, for example, let's just grab like bruh 5996. I don't know what would lead you to name yourself bruh, but say for example that I meet somebody at a con, right? And I'm just like sitting down, hanging out, talking to them. And I do what I used to do, right? Which is like, there were instances where you guys would show up, like I would meet and I would hang out with you guys. And it's like, what are you getting into? It's like, well, I'm hoping to get some comic books, but money's kind of tight. And it's like, cool, I'll buy them for you, right? So I just dump like $500 and just buy a boatload of trade paperbacks, on one of you guys. I loved doing that. But say for example, like I meet somebody, right? And I do that for like somebody named Steve. Steve might be bruh. They might not be bruh, but I can imagine that bruh is Steve. I can put a face to the names. And I do miss that. Like, I really do miss like hanging out and just like talking to you guys and shooting the shit and talking about comics with you guys, and and like walking around the con floor with you guys. Because you guys know, like, those of you guys who ever met me at a Comic-Con, you guys know that's exactly what I do, right? Like, you guys like, we'll bump into each other at a con. And depending on what I have going on, I'll just be like, let's go hang out, right? And like, we'll just like walk around the con floor and just like talk about comics and all that kind of stuff. Like, I love doing that. Like, I love just like sitting down and just randomly having conversations with you guys. And I feel like at the moment, like I'm in the comic book YouTube scene, but I'm kind of removed from it at the same time. And maybe it's just me, right? But I mean, like, do you guys have that feeling? Like, does it feel to you like the comic book scene on YouTube is just really, really scattered? And it's not really unified in any meaningful way? And while you guys are answering that, hold on, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll, right? Let's make a poll, right? I'm gonna give you guys. Oh wait, do we have to end the last poll? Oh, end poll. Okay, so we have to end a poll before we start a new poll. Okay, start a new poll. Does the comic book scene on YouTube feel like it's not unified anymore? And let's use correct punctuation. Yes, no. Okay. And while you guys are answering that, let's go through a few more super chats. I like to make sure that I catch super chats. You ran into me at San Diego Comic-Con 2022, and I was super genuine and chill. Thanks for making time to chat with me and my wife, and even gifting us comic books that you recommend. I just want to say thank you for all that you do. Were you the black dude that I met? I hate to describe you that way, but like, were you the black dude that I met? Right? And you had a wife. You guys were like runners or bodybuilders or something like that. If so, yes, I remember you. Because that was you and I were chit-chatting, and then Destiny FOMO came running up because she never met me before. She came running up and just like bogarted everything. So she's like live streaming and like got her camera in my face at the same time. Destiny's really cool. I still, I chit chat with her all the time. But yeah. So wait, I'm super quiet. I shouldn't be super quiet. If I'm super quiet, it's probably on your end. But yeah, if you're the person that I'm thinking of, then yeah, that's you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember you, man. Yeah, you guys were super cool. You guys were awesome. Yeah, we went to that. It was almost like a dingy little comic book stand, right? Like it's what it felt like. Yeah, you guys were really, really cool. Yeah, you guys were really dope. Let's see. All right, let's do another super chat. Big fan. You have a question. You may be dumb, but kind of speaking on reading orders. Do I or have I considered doing an abridged playlist for stories that lead into other comic lines and stories? What do you mean? So are you talking about something? I mean, Danny Malt's cool. Are you talking about something like Blood Hunt? No, yeah, Blood Hunt that leads into One World Under Doom. I mean, with things like that, maybe, but it's kind of self-explanatory, right? Like, I mean, quite literally at the end of Blood Hunt, Doctor Doom is like, now that I'm Sorcerer Supreme, I'm going to fix the world. It just says to be continued in one world under Doom, right? So, in that way, I haven't really thought about it. Okay. Definitely not united. Too much raid baiting has split the community. That sucks. Let's see. Okay, have I missed some super chats at all? Like, are there any that I missed? I hope not. I don't think I have. I think I'm caught up on super chats. Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, what does the poll say? What does the poll say? Yes. All right, the comic book scene on YouTube feels like it's not unified anymore. And that was kind of the benefit of having like the weekly poll and inviting guests onto the podcast, was kind of creating a unification within the comic book YouTube scene. And I think it'd be kind of cool to do that, right? I mean, like, oh, I missed your super chat? Okay. What was your super chat? Super chat again. No, what was your send me another one and I'll catch it this time. No, what was your I don't think I don't know. But yeah, like I think it'd be kind of cool, right? Like to launch a podcast and just like have guests on, right? Bring on like Dez over at Dope Spill, or like Ernie from Blurred Without Fear. Ernie's cool. I mean, Lord knows I've crashed his podcast enough times. If I were to launch one, I would 100% have to have him on. Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely have to do that. Bring on like comic book writers. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, I'm sure we could grab Scott Snyder. I don't think it'd be that hard. DCKO or Ten of Swords, which is better? Well, we're not far enough into DCKO to really know, but I don't know. It'll probably end up being DCKO. Because if Ten of Swords were like DCKO, it would have been like Wolverine fights like Colossus or something like that. Whereas Ten of Swords wasn't really that way. So yeah, okay. Rob, you've helped me get through so many tough times, bro, especially Benigon. Thank you for being you. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Let's see. Did I ever watch the new Chainsaw Man movie? No, I never got into Chainsaw Man. I had no desire to get into Chainsaw Man. Do I think Josh is a plant against Iger now? No, not at all. Josh is cool. I love him to death, but Josh has a tendency to just go off on tangents that have nothing to do with anything. And yeah, Josh he's a little wild sometimes. I love him to death. I love Josh to death, but he's a little wild sometimes. I have no idea what the Secret Identity podcast is. Speaking of things being so fractured, Vegeta would have been cool in DCKO. Oh, 100%. Let's see. You just read Old Man Logan for the first time. Okay, the original one, like the original Old Man Logan, or the one from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, because that one is incredible too. Should all be good. What do I think about the WB Discovery sellout? It wouldn't really surprise me if WB Discovery, it doesn't surprise me. I feel like they've been struggling for quite some time, but yeah, I don't really think it matters. I think that whoever it is that ends up buying it will probably keep the DC Cinematic Universe going. I mean, it'd be crazy if they bought it and then just shut down the whole DC Cinematic Universe. Like, damn, James Gunn barely got started and they axed it, right? But I doubt that's going to happen. Yeah, that would be nuts. Yeah, Red Band Punisher #1 is really good. WB and Discovery are separate now. It's just WB. Oh, okay. I don't keep track of all that stuff, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, Dez is really cool. There was an episode of the Blurred Cave where I crashed it and I told Ernie, I was like, we need to bring on Dez. Dez was apparently playing Cyberpunk, so he wasn't paying any attention. We were like sending him messages trying to get him on. So then he like shows up the next week, right? So it was myself and Dez hanging out with Blurred Without Fear, with the whole Blurred Without Fear team. So that was cool. Predator Badlands? I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. Not overly concerned with it. I mean, it looks cool, I guess, but I'm kind of burned out on like the Alien Predator franchise. Although Alien Earth was really cool, but that was a wholly different take on the series, and it felt very similar to like the original Ridley Scott Alien film. So, why do some comic book characters never age while some do? I assume you're talking about like Kitty Pryde. Like she definitely ages, and yeah, other characters don't. I mean, it depends on the popularity of the character, to be honest. I mean, there is the fan theory that Franklin Richards controls the Marvel universe. That ever since he was born, Marvel started using a sliding time scale, and no one ever actually ages. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say it just depends on the popularity of the character. The finale wasn't bad. It just wasn't what people like. So the issue was that people who saw the Alien Earth finale had kind of convinced themselves that the show was going to end a certain way, and then it didn't end the way that they expected it to end because they lied to themselves about how it was supposed to end, and then they were mad about the lie they told themselves not being true. So I don't really, yeah, I don't. Why doesn't Rob age? Because I'm half black, and black don't crack. So that's why I don't age. Don't worry, man. If you guys ever wonder whether or not I age, this hair up here, time will demonstrate the fact that I do age 100%. Yeah, but I actually inherited that from my dad. My dad looked like 10 to 15 years younger than he actually was, which was no, that was pretty dope. That's why we love Josh, Nerd Vengers for life. Just wanted to say thank you. I've had many sleepless nights where you stay up and watch my videos over the years. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Rossi, M. Rossi. Yes, thank you very much. Everybody started laughing. They said black don't crack. You know what? Oh, hold on. Let's make a poll out of it. Let's make a poll out of it. All right, let's ask the question. I want to know how you guys feel about this. Does black crack? We're not going to make a poll out of that. That's a terrible idea for a poll. I'm pretty sure that poll would get the stream demonetized and shut down. Right? Like we are not going to do. We are not going to do that poll. That's never going to happen. Here's a poll that we will do though. I wonder if Paul from Heavy Spoilers is watching this right now. Let's see. Okay. Start a poll. There we go. There's our poll. Paul from Heavy Spoilers and I, like myself and Paul have like this mock beef, kind of. Like it's kind of funny. What's the last physical comic that I bought? The Marvel DC crossover. That was one issue long. Like, here's the thing, man. That Marvel DC crossover, they should have made an event out of that. Like they 100% should have made it. You know what would have been dope? You know what would have been badass? The Ultimate or the Absolute Universe versus the Ultimate Universe. Imagine if that was the Marvel DC crossover. That would have been baller. Like that would have been absolutely amazing. Like I would have loved that. You were just watching Paul. I love Paul to death. If we ever brought the podcast back, Paul would 100% be like one of the first people we bring on. Like I adore Paul, but he's like a dad. He's got like, you know, kids and everything. So I don't know how much free time he would have. He's got a beautiful family. Like he posts them sometimes on Twitter. His family's absolutely beautiful. Let's see. Would I ever do a why I stopped reading this comic, or would I have ended the or I would have ended the story like this. I've thought about it, but for the most part, I usually try to stay away from being exceedingly negative, right? And just kind of being like, this story's trash, and I'm just gonna like spend, 30 minutes railing on it. I don't really like doing that. So I usually try to stay away from negative stuff. Like there was somebody who hit me up. It was somebody who was wanting to do like an interview, and they were like, "Yeah, man, like we know you're a big voice in the comic book YouTube scene, yada yada yada. We want to do an article on like the worst costumes in Marvel, right? And why Marvel would be stupid enough to make." And I'm like, I'm not interested in that, right? I'm not really interested in contributing to like a negative article. Think I won't super chat again. I always thought your home was filled with comics, like it was a store. I was wondering if you still bought that actual comic, or others like paperback, don't read comics, rather you watch my videos. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I have physical comics, but I only ever buy physical comics if they're particularly important or significant to me. I don't really just buy physical for the sake of buying physical. Not really. I mean, my house is more often than not filled with like comic book art. Like I prefer like really, really high quality comic book art. So like I have like Alex Ross art, stuff like that. Like there's Alex Ross Superman, so on and so forth. Yeah. So what comic related apps do I use? I use Kindle, right, to read my comics. Um, let's see. Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy became king and queen of the green. When did that happen? I mean, I know like the green was part of their mythos, but like when did they become king? And is that during the New 52, the Scott Snyder run? Admittedly, I haven't read a whole lot of Swamp Thing. Like I've never read a ton of Swamp Thing. So, um, yeah, no, I don't really get omnibuses. Let's see. Rob, my setups are absolutely awesome. You love the art that I have framed. Yeah, so people ask all the time. Hold on a second. People ask all the time. Okay, so this is X-Men #1. So the frame I got off Amazon. Like I can't remember exactly where it was. But yeah, the frame I just got off Amazon. I just literally Googled like black comic book frame. And this is the one that came with it. This is actually autographed by Jim Lee. So yeah, that was really, really exciting. That's a really fun story to tell. Like I love telling that story to people. But yeah, actually I do have you guys know I love Apocalypse. I got the first appearance of Apocalypse in well, technically it's a second appearance, but it's the first like significant appearance of Apocalypse in Marvel. He actually appeared at the end of issue #5. That was actually the first issue where Louise Simonson took over, and Walter Simonson, I think, when they took over the comic. Up until that, it was Bob Layton and Jackson Geese, and yeah, that one's cool. Apocalypse just appeared as like a shadowy figure in like issue #5, but you get like the first full on appearance of him in that one, so that was dope. But yeah, so I mean, it's not hard to get Jim Lee's autograph. I mean, it's not like a rarity or anything like that. I will say there was a story I remember Sal telling me about an autograph from Chris Claremont, that he had gone to get Claremont's autograph on like it was I don't remember, I think it was like New York Comic Con, some Comic Con like that. He had gone there on like a Thursday or a Friday, and like there was nobody at Claremont's booth, so he just got like an autograph from Chris Claremont. And then he went back on Saturday, and Claremont's line was from his booth to the wall and wrapped around the building twice. Now, I don't know if it was wrapped around the building twice, but still, like, it was wrapped around the building. Like, the line for Claremont's autograph was insane, which kind of makes sense. I don't think Claremont goes to Comic-Cons all that often. So, let's see. Been watching for years and always wondered, why did I change my thumbnails? And how did it, from how I did it back in the day. Because YouTube's standards changed. The kind of thumbnails that people were interested in clicking on weren't those old school thumbnails that I made. I mean, I experiment from time to time, right? Like I may throw one out just to see how people respond to it. But the kind of videos that people were clicking on, it just changed, right? They just kind of gone away. So, let's see. Miss Super Chat, what happened with the time when I tried to go bigger? Did I just get burned out? Cool if I don't want to talk about it. Love your stuff for years. Oh, when I was doing like Geek Culture Explain, all that? Yeah. I mean, that was kind of an experimental phase where I was like, let's just like grow the brand out in a bunch of different directions and see how I feel about it. And ultimately I just didn't like it. It made the whole thing feel too much like a job. It felt too much like a full-time gig. And that just wasn't really interesting to me. I loved the idea of just kind of being in my corner of the world and making my videos talking about comic books, and that was it. I didn't really have a desire, to do great big huge, expansive stuff. It was a cool experiment, and I'm glad that I did it, because now I don't have to walk around asking the question, what if I did make Comics Explained bigger, and did like grow it out to a bunch of different brands. But yeah, like I 100% burned myself out on the creative side. So yeah, I don't know. It was fun. It was really, really cool, but yeah, it was, why am I hating on heavy spoilers? Because Paul sucks. That's why. um, yeah, the company that used to make RobCore rings, I think they're back in business now. They may have reopened. If they have, then I may end up selling RobCore rings again. But, Your introduction of to my channel was Flash Rebirth, first comic YouTube that you subscribed to. Everything was the best thing coming out of DC. Yeah, I remember that. Everything was the best thing coming out of DC Rebirth. Admittedly, Flash Rebirth was phenomenal. That was Francis Manipool, wasn't it? Flash Rebirth? No. That was a New 52. No, it was a New 52 Flash. Flash Rebirth was Francis Manipool, wasn't it? I think he wrote and drew it. I know he wrote and drew Trinity, which was a phenomenal comic. But I think Francis Manipool was Flash Rebirth. I can't remember off the top of my head. When will we get the return of Rob Core rings? I don't know. I'll have to see if the company that created them actually is back in business. I missed your super chat. Okay, what was Impolite Sound Systems super chat? Because I don't think I can search for super chat. Wait, what's a goal? Oh, yeah, YouTube driving us to do super chats. Okay. The Inhumans remind you of the Partridge Family of the Marvel Universe. Is what you watched when the X-Men weren't available. You're not wrong, right? You're not wrong. Yeah, the Inhumans are just like a poor man's X-Men. Okay, let's go back. I'm sorry I missed your super chat. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wait, is that a super chat? Did I have the chat settings wrong? Okay. Bro, been a fan since the beginning. I ask this every live stream. I see you in. When are you going to cover Rick Remender's X-Force and half of Uncanny Avengers? I do need to cover it. Rick Remender's X-Force is incredible. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. You know what, Iron? I'll add it to the list of things to cover. Like, I will add it to the list of things to cover. Okay, I'm trying to find that super chat. Let's see. Okay, that super chat we covered. This one. Oh, yeah, that was that guy. I'm trying to find their super chat. Does YouTube not show like all the super chats? Let me get Rob Core rings. Okay, I can't see. Oh, wait, I can sort through super chats. Okay. Damn. Okay, any chance for some Spawn coverage at some point? Or do I not read or enjoy it? I recently bought the first compendium, love it so far. I'm actually going through and getting caught up on Gunslinger Spawn and King Spawn. The last thing I did cover with Spawn was his war between war with heaven and hell, when he like killed God and Satan. Like, that was nuts, right? That was, what was it? Spawn Armageddon, I think is what it was called. Okay, Red Devil Studio, who's your favorite villain in DC and Marvel? In Marvel Comics, my favorite villain, I don't know that I can't think of a favorite villain off the top of my head. Like one where I would immediately pick up and read every single time. I want to say Doctor Doom, but I mean, I would just be picking him because he's popular. Honestly, I think in a lot of ways, it kind of depends on how they're written. Like, I've never cared about Tombstone until right now with Benjamin Percy's Punisher run. And I love Tombstone now. Apparently there is a run where like he beats the crap out of Spider-Man. I never actually read that one, so I don't remember which one that is. From DC Comics, my favorite villain is probably the Joker, but only because of the fact that every time I read his character in the comics, I hear Mark Hamill's voice from Batman the Animated Series, which just makes the character all the more interesting. You feel like the show Pennyworth is underrated. It's okay. It's okay. Why are the Doc Savage rights so complicated? I have no clue. I have no idea about why the Doc Savage rights are so complicated. At that point, you're talking about going back to like the 30s. Yeah, I have no idea about the answer to that question. Been watching for years, and you've always wondered, why did I change my... Oh yeah, okay, we already answered that one. Let's see. Is there any character that I have the complete comic series of? You have every Kamala Khan comic. Well, I mean, again, I don't collect like all the physical comics, but when I did, yeah, no, I had like all the X-Men. And in fact, I still have some of them. Downstairs, I have like the first 20 some odd issues of X-Men Volume 2. I don't really have any more, right? But I had like the first 20 some odd issues of X-Men Volume 2. Um, let's see. Missed super chat. Oh yeah, we answered that one. I taught you everything you know about comics. Have any thoughts or feels about the upcoming Skybound Transformers G.I. Joe animated show? I'm excited to see it. I'm actually excited to see some animated shows that are coming from the comic book universe, but are not Marvel and DC related, explicitly Marvel and DC related. Invincible's cool. And I think Invincible kind of ushered us in to the age of like indie comic animated shows. So I'm excited to see that. Let's see. All right. The Inhumans one, Rob Core Rings one, Hope Absolute Hawkman gets his head kicked or gets his ass kicked. The guy is a snitch, 100%. I am kind of excited to see how his story unfolds. Let's see. Been a fan since the beginning. I asked this any live stream. Oh yeah, we already answered that one. Okay. We're gonna circle back to super chats here in a second, but I still want to like talk to people who are not doing super chats. I don't want to make you guys feel abandoned. I don't want to make you guys feel like you're being ignored. I feel like that would just be a really, really crappy thing. Let's see. Can't wait to be able to buy a ring. Yeah, like hopefully they'll come out. Okay, so here's a question for you guys, because you guys know whenever we do live streams, I love asking you guys questions, right? I love picking your all's brains when it comes to stuff. I have not seen Dispatch yet. I have not watched it. I need to, or I'm sorry, played it. I have not played it yet. Mariah was telling me about it. Like, I definitely need to check it out. Yeah, I got rid of most of my collection years and years and years ago. X-Men 97 was dope. Okay, I'm gonna get around to asking you all this question. Okay, here's a question that I would ask you guys. If you could have one character from Marvel Comics that has not appeared in a movie or TV show appear in Avengers Doomsday, who would that character be? Who do you want to see? Because I'm going to tell you right now, my choice is the Molecule Man. Although I think Molecule Man did appear in a... Did he appear in the Fantastic Four cartoon show? Okay, ignore the cartoon show part, just the movies, right? I feel like that makes things overly complicated. I mean, I'm on good terms with Dez as far as I'm aware. I haven't talked to him for a while, so... Rob is great at reading all these chats. Yeah. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Blue Marvel? Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Paul from Spider-Man? Nobody wants to see Paul from Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't even want to see Paul from Spider-Man. Blink would be cool, but Blink wasn't a movie. She was in Days of Future Past. Sleepwalker would be a good choice. But I mean, he wouldn't be overly. If ever there were a time to introduce Sleepwalker, it would have been in Doctor Strange 2. Like it would like Doctor Strange 2 was the perfect time to introduce Sleepwalker, and they never did. Gladiator would have been dope. Yeah, like Kellark, he would have been really, really cool. How do I feel about Doctor Doom's character being changed during One World Under Doom by using Latverian citizen lives as the Sorcerer Supreme? I don't really think that changes Doom, to be honest. Like, it sounds like something Doctor Doom would do. Like, it sounds like something that he would do. Beta Ray Bill for sure. Yeah, 100%. Squirrel Girl. Cable would be dope, but he appeared in Cable and Deadpool. So, or Deadpool 2. So, Hyperion would be cool. Right? Marcus Milton from Earth 13034. That's the one that I would want to see. Like, that dude was dope. Night Thrasher. I was like Nihat Thrasher. Nihat Thrasher. Oh yeah, dude, I've been saying for years John David Washington should 100% play Blue Marvel. People keep saying that it should be Denzel Washington. The problem is that he can't play the character forever. Like, he can't play the character nearly as long as his son can. Right. So I think the idea of Denzel playing Blue Marvel is more about who people want to play Blue Marvel in the moment, as opposed to like who actually has longevity to play the character. I mean, okay, here's a question, right? Who would you rather see play Blue Marvel, Denzel Washington or Denzel Washington's son? Keeping in mind that John David Washington was in like the Creator. He was in oh my god, what was that Christopher Nolan movie where they were doing like time travel? Tenet. He was in Tenet. Yeah, like, I mean, which one would you rather see? Denzel's too out of shape. Michael Jai White. Okay, I'll be honest. Way back in the day, before they cast Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, I advocated for Michael Jai White. I was like, Michael Jai, dude, that guy's like a legitimate martial artist. Have you looked up the accolades of Michael Jai White? Dude, the guy's like a seven degree black belt or something like that. He studied like 4 or 5 different martial arts. That guy is a legitimate fighter, right? Like you walk into the set of a movie and start shit with Michael Jai White. He's gonna beat the piss out of you. Like that guy's a legit fighter. And he's like his own stuntman for the most part. So I was like, he would have been a great Black Panther. But I think like Damson Idris is slated to play Black Panther now. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I'm excited for that. How many of you guys know who Damson Idris is? I know he was in F1, but he was also in Snowfall, right? F1 was okay. Like it was a good movie, right? I enjoyed it, but it didn't really like show his acting chops. If you really want to see how good of an actor Damson Idris is, go watch Snowfall. It's about the rise of the drug epidemic in LA back in the 80s. It's a phenomenal show. It's one of the best shows you're ever gonna see. Think like The Wire meets the movie Blow, but it's not nearly as good as The Wire, but it's almost as good, right? It's very close to The Wire. Yeah, that guy can act. How many of you guys watched The Wire back in the day? Like the old HBO show, which The Wire to this day is still considered to be the greatest TV show of all time. Like it tops like every list of the greatest TV shows ever created. The Wire was amazing. Yeah, Snowfall was hype. It was hype. This is actually live. Yes, this is actually live. Snow on the Bluff. That fake ass movie. Snow on the Bluff was so fake, but I mean, dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. Just like, dude, why is it when I was watching Snow on the Bluff and like those are like white kids going like the hood in Atlanta, they go into the bluff down in I think it was in Atlanta. I was like, this is something that like Jake and Logan Paul would do, and they just get jacked by that dude who just like takes their camera and like starts documenting the hood. But the movie, as I understand it, was just fake as hell. Like there was nothing about that movie that was real. But it was hilarious. Like it was hilarious. The Wire, Breaking Bad, and The Sopranos. The Sopranos was great, but it sucked because the Ducks never came back at the end. I always wanted the Ducks to come back. Like I always wanted them to come back. But yeah. Wait, what intro? Yes, I remember the name of the beat, but I never tell people what it is because whenever I do, somebody tries to take it and they try to like copyright it, and then I've got to do a whole bunch of counterclaims and all that kind of stuff. All right, let's respond to a few super chats. Respond to a few super chats since we missed some. Let's see. Oh wow. Okay. All right, what Marvel character would get a lantern ring from DC? Also, Joshua Williamson was the one who wrote Flash Rebirth. Okay, cool. That's right, because he did like the whole Godspeed story arc. That was my introduction to Joshua Williamson. That's right. Thank you. Yeah, I keep thinking it was Francis Manapul for some reason, but maybe Francis Manapul was the one who did New 52 Flash. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. We actually made a video about that. We made a video years and years and years and years ago about what would happen if the Incredible Hulk got a red lantern ring. And actually, okay, it's a cool question that you asked. It's cool you asked that. You want to see something dope as hell? Marvel characters with lantern rings? Okay, I want to know this. Hold on a second. We're gonna do a poll. All right. Let me ask this. Let me ask this in a poll. Do you want to see something awesome? Yes. No. Start poll. Okay. We're going to wait to see the results of the poll. The world would end. Yeah, the world would end. Yeah, Joshua Williamson's Flash was incredible. Like it was really, really good. Make it stops holding back play. You know, I should just like make a series of videos where people just like stop holding back in like whatever story they're in. You know, I'm gonna do that. Oh, you caught the stray that I gave Detroit? I'm sorry, bro. Randy Sloan. I mean, I would never go to Detroit. Detroit's like the Gotham City of the United States. I would never go to Detroit on purpose. Like I would absolutely never do that. But yeah. Okay, 93% of you guys said yes. You do want to see something awesome. Okay, check this out. This is really, really dope. I'm like taking down all my picture frames. Okay. This right here. This is Blue Lantern Captain America versus Red Lantern Bucky Barnes. It's dope. It's really, really dope. Yeah. Blue Lantern Cap versus Red Lantern Bucky. Actually, I had that commissioned. Yeah. So, yeah. It was, that's dope. Thanks for being you. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I'm really excited about it. All right, let's grab a couple more super chats. Let's see. I keep forgetting where I stopped. Oh, okay. Your favorite version of Superman is John Byrne's Man of Steel. What's my take on that Superman and that version going forward? Well, I mean, it's the definitive origin for Superman post-Crisis. I thought Superman post-Crisis was okay. I was never huge into him. It wasn't really until like DC Rebirth that I actually sat down and read Superman and was interested in what was going on and what his character was doing. I think a lot of that though was because of the fact that they gave him a son, they gave him Jonathan, and that I think changed the entire dynamic on how DC could and had to write Superman. And I thought it made him interesting, like more interesting and more compelling, because you got to see DC, you got to see Superman written in a way where he was like passing on all of his knowledge to like the next generation, to his son, but teaching his son what it meant to actually be a superhero. So yeah, I love that. Like I loved that version of Superman, Rebirth. Yeah, Man of Steel was okay. I mean, it's fine, but you know, it's, the only other version of Superman that I would say that I think I enjoyed equally to the Rebirth was the Secret Origin of Superman from Geoff Johns. Geoff Johns? He did the Secret Origin of Superman, didn't he? Back in the day? Back in the 2000s? As a big America Chavez fan, what do you think is happening with her in the main comic universe? It seems like she gets nothing to do these days. Is she good in the new Ultimate Universe? I mean, she's okay. I think America Chavez was shelved in the comics because she was shelved in the MCU. She may or may not come back. That's how you know she's going to be significant. I don't know what she's doing right now in Marvel Comics. I haven't followed her for years. I mean, she's fine, but honestly, she was a character that Marvel never really knew what to do with. The closest that I think anybody did, the closest anybody got to doing justice to America Chavez was Al Ewing during his Ultimates run and Defenders Beyond. That she was really awesome there, but she was kind of just along for the ride. Like she wasn't really an integral or necessary part of that story outside of like the Eternity Mask arc. Yeah, but I mean, she's fine, you know, for what she is. I don't really care that much about her. Do I think people have Ultimates fatigue, and also Maker fatigue since the Absolute Universe just has great writing and it's fresh? Not really. I think the biggest issue with the Ultimate Universe is that nobody really knew where it was going, and it was just going too slow, right? It was just taking too long to establish things. Like DC right out of the gate is like absolute Batman, right? And he's like hardcore and brutal. Within like 6 issues, you know what Batman is about, and you just get to see stuff unfold so quickly. It's been 2 years, and as much as I love Jonathan Hickman and his Ultimate Spider-Man run, nothing's really happened. Now, granted, he literally came out and said the whole idea behind his Ultimate Spider-Man run was to set the foundation for Peter, so somebody could come after him and then in turn build on that, right? And then start telling like great big huge stories. But even with like Dennis Camp's Ultimates, I love his Ultimates run and I love what he's doing with Doctor Doom. But there's certainly instances where it just kind of seems to not necessarily have a point. Now, of course, you end up finding out that it does later on down the line, but the way the Ultimate Universe is being handled is very different from the way the Absolute Universe is being handled. I don't think one is better than the other. I think it's just different. Yeah, so I don't, you know, maybe it sounds like a political answer, but you know, I don't think it's like better or worse. As far as the Maker goes, I don't think anybody has any fatigue because we haven't seen him for like a year and a half, right? So I mean, there's nothing happening with him, so there's nothing to be fatigued over. But yeah, around 10 years ago, I used to play. Oh yeah, that's the one where you asked about the intro. How do I feel if Tony Stark turns out to be a Doom variant in the MCU? You can't stand it because Doom is such a good character on his own in the comics. It hurts Tony's character as Iron Man, in my opinion. Not to me. If it turns out that that Josh was right and that Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was an anomaly, right? That Doctor Doom is a variant of Tony, right? Or that Tony was a variant of Doctor Doom, and that in the main Marvel Cinematic Universe, Tony became a good guy instead of a bad guy. I don't think it changes anything. I think it makes it cool. Like, I think it, if anything, it makes his sacrifice more significant because it shows what he could have been as opposed to what he actually turned into. So no, I think it's dope. I think it's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bounce off here in a minute too, guys. I mean, the stream is fun, right? I've had a great time doing this, but I'll have to bounce off here in a minute as well. You want to see Ultimate Deadpool? That would be pretty cool. I am not familiar with Berserk, so I cannot answer that question of whether Batman is better than Guts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But yeah. So my favorite absolute book so far is Batman. So yeah, I mean, did we do a poll asking people if we should bring back if I should start a podcast, if we should bring back a podcast? I'm not guaranteeing that I will. I think it's important to specify that. But I don't know if we did a poll asking that question. You know what? Let's ask that question real quick. Let's do that real quick. See, here's a funny thing about live streaming. If I talk too consistently, my voice starts to get kind of dry and get hoarse, which I feel like a lot of you guys love. So I'm just like, what's going on, guys? My voice is getting kind of dry and hoarse because I've been talking consistently for so long. And if I stay on here too long, eventually I'll start losing my voice. I feel you guys are just like, Jesus, that raspy hoarse voice of Comics Explained puts me to sleep. Okay. Or something like it. Because I know we asked the poll about how you guys felt about the community. Raspy explained. Raspy voice explained. Oh man, Barry White. Do you guys remember when I did that intro where I made myself sound like Barry White? Dry and hoarse voice. Oh man. Oh, 100% I'm doing Knife Fight when it drops. 100%. Batman fighting variants of himself? Yeah, 100%. That's absolutely getting done. There's no way that doesn't get done. But yeah, let's see what the yes, people are saying yes, 100%. I should. Let's see. YouTube collab with Eevee with Eric Voss from New Rockstars. Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be cool, right, to have Eric Voss on a podcast and we all just kind of, shoot the shit and hang out and chit chat and whatnot. But yeah. Well, we just confirmed at least 3% are bots. 3% of the people in the chat are bots. I hope not. I certainly hope they're not bots. You need more Rob in your life? A fill in between video. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool. Just drop it on Sundays or something casual. Nothing crazy. Eric Voss would never do it. I bet if I started a podcast, I could get Eric Voss on it. I bet if we brought back something akin to the weekly poll, we could get Eric Voss on it. Eric Voss, as far as I'm aware, is pretty social. We could definitely get Eric Voss. The real question would be, could we get James Gunn? Or is James Gunn screw Comics Explained? I'm never going on that guy's podcast, which is fine, but that's how he felt. But could we get James Gunn on the podcast? That would be dope, right? It would be the most difficult thing in the world for me to not start pitching ideas to him. That'd be the hardest thing, right? And I feel whenever he shows up on a podcast with a creator, it's rule number one, do not pitch me your ideas. I don't want to hear them. I have no clue. I've never met James Gunn. I never talked to James Gunn. I don't know. Dude, I would do John Campea 100%. Absolutely, I would bring Campea on. That would be more like an episode that focuses on movies and TV shows, though, because John Campea, I mean, he's a speaking head when it comes to, he's a talking head when it comes to movies and stuff like that. He doesn't really focus on the comic side, in the same way that I do. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. Maybe he does, but when are we playing Battlefield? I need to get Battlefield. Hit me up on PlayStation, on PS5. Find me on PS5, and then we'll play together. But yeah, I have no idea who Marcel is. I don't know who Marcel is. Make a podcast so you can have more content to get through work. I've never talked to James Gunn. Like I have never talked to James Gunn. I bet I could get, I bet you I could get Hickman. I bet you we could. Like if I jumped on, I'd be like, dude, John, like I would go to a con and be like, hey man, let me bring you on the podcast. Like I would love to have you on the podcast sometime. I feel like Jonathan Hickman would do it. All right. Here's the question. Here's the question for you guys. If I launch this podcast and bring Jonathan Hickman on, what would you want him to talk about? What would you want Jonathan Hickman to talk about? That's the question. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Campea being a high-level casual. I mean, I love watching Campea's show. Like, it's always entertaining. Like, I love watching his show. Let's see. It'd be unreal if I got Hickman. Yeah, it'd be kind of wild. Oh, they talked to James Gunn before? Oh, that's cool. Well, I didn't talk to James Gunn, so. You want to talk about burgers? Been around since the first upload of Infinity Gauntlet in 2014. Jesus. Like that, you gave us a clue that if you are in danger, you'd say Inhumans are great. What, I did? Did I say that in the video, that if I was in danger, I would say the Inhumans were great? Did I say that in the video? I mean, Hickman is aware of me. I mean, I doubt he knows my name. Like, I don't know. But yeah, like on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the likelihood of Disney's iteration of Big Hero 6 and Moon Girl from the TV show being in Secret Wars? Also, thanks. I don't know. Number one, because Disney's version of Big Hero 6 is not the Marvel comic version. And number two, maybe. I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool to see Baymax, right? Great big old fat robot just like roaming around attacking Doctor Doom. That would be hilarious. I think it'd be funny. I did? I said that in Infinity Gauntlet? If I'm in danger? If I say the Inhumans are great, then it means I'm in danger? Wow. Ask him his dream character to write and what artist to collab with. Damn. Oh yeah, I've met Jonathan Hickman at cons. Yeah, like when he was doing, actually I have Giant Size X-Men #1. That's autographed by Jonathan Hickman. He and I were having a chit chat about the X-Men before he started House and Powers of X. It was when Marvel announced it, but before he officially started writing it. So yeah, I mean, we were talking for a little while. And he's cool. Like I love talking to Hickman, but yeah. Oh, I was toasted. Was I? I wasn't high when I made that video. Was I? I don't think I was. It was like, it was over a decade ago, guys. Like I don't remember my mental state back then. I just remember I played Destiny 2 or Destiny 1 all the time. And that was it. I may go to EDC Orlando next year. Definitely not going this year though. Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, how has Toy Story not utilized Star Wars and Marvel action figures? I don't know, man, but I feel like it would have been awesome to see that. Like that would have been hilarious. Yeah, no, I didn't think I was. It sucks that we'll never see Purple Man and Born Again, but at least Jessica Jones is coming back. Yeah, I feel like they really mishandled. I mean, Purple Man was great. I think the biggest mistake they made was killing him. Like, they should not have killed Purple Man. They should have 100% kept Kilgrave and then just put him on the back burner to bring him back at some point in time. Yeah, we got caught up on the White Knight. So, blinker signal given. Okay, guys. Well, I am going to go ahead and bounce off here. My voice is starting to run out. But tomorrow, Absolute Batman Annual comes out. Do not forget. So we are going to cover that. I'm pretty sure it's Absolute Batman Annual. DCKO continues, all that good stuff. So I'm excited to bring some more of those videos to you guys. But we're going to bring this to an end. This live stream was fun. The answer is a resounding absolutely. I should bring back a podcast. So I'll think about it, right? I'll figure out whether or not I want to do it. But yeah, guys, I appreciate it. One last super chat. Can I make more full story videos like, oh, you like to watch them to sleep and the gym? Well, I do have a full stories channel. I have an entire channel dedicated to full stories. That's all it is. Like, it's Comics Explained full stories. That's literally the whole channel, which I think I can tag it in here. Hold on a second. Oh, I cannot. I can only tag people who were in the chat. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bounce off here. But yeah, look up Comics Explained full stories on YouTube. And yeah, I will catch you all later. Peace.